Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Maddie. We'll continue our learning with conditional statements in Java. First of all, what are conditional statements? Conditional statements are the decision making statements where they allow program to choose different actions based on the conditions. In Java, we have two types of conditional statements. One is if else and the second is switch cases. First, we'll be seeing if else statements and then we'll move on to switch cases. Let's take a real world example where Maddie and his mother decides to eat either pizza or pasta, and his mother tells him to bring some items from the shop to prepare pizza or pasta. While Maddie is on the way to the shop, his mother calls him and tells, if you bring items for pizza, you should definitely bring chili flakes as toppings. That is if statement. She will also mention that if you didn't get a chili flakes, at least you should bring a tomato ketchup. That is else case. It goes the same way in programming languages as well. In if else statements, we have few types. Let us look into them one by one. And the first one is simple if statement, where program has only one condition to execute when the condition is true. Let us see it. For programming example, we will be considering a school student grades. Let us see the simple if statement. We have marks of student 37. If marks is greater than 35, then that particular candidate is considered as a pass in particular subject. Let us try to execute this program. Yes, as the marks is greater than 35, we are printing a pass. We have a second type of statement where program has two paths to choose. That is if else. Let us look into an example. If marks is greater than 35, then that particular candidate is passed, else he is failed. Let us print it. Yes, as the marks is greater than 37, for both of the cases, it is executing a statement inside if statement. Let us try to reduce the marks below 35 and see what happens. Yeah, he is failed. And if you observe, in the first simple if statement, it won't have any follow-up conditions to execute, so it is not getting executed. I mean, the sysout is not getting printed. Whereas in the second condition, we have a second path to choose. And the third type of statement is if else if ladder. If else if ladder is used when we have multiple conditions to execute. Let us see it with student grade example. If marks is greater than 90, then we'll consider it as a distinction. Else if marks is greater than or equal to 70, then that particular candidate is considered as a first class. Else if marks is greater than or equal to 50, then candidate is considered as a second class. Else if marks is greater than or equal to 35, then he is considered as a third class. If none of the conditions are met, then that particular candidate is failed in particular subject. This is called as if else if ladder, where we have more than two paths to choose for a program to get executed. Let us try to run it. As per this marks, it should get failed, as the marks is lesser than 35, and none of these if conditions will be met. Let us run it. Yes, it's printing failed. Let me increase the marks to 95. It should print distinction. Yes, distinction. Let me comment out these things just not to confuse. I'll run it again. Yes, distinction. Let me take 85. And it is first class. I'll just take 45. It should get third class. Yes. And the last type of statement we have is nested if statement. What is nested if statement? A if inside another if. Let us see with an example. Let's consider particular student has an attendance percentile as 75. Student allows those students to be get passed if and only if they have attendance percentile of 75% and if he is passed in all the subjects. Let us write that in the program. If attendance percentile is greater than or equal to 75 and if marks is greater than 35, then that particular candidate is considered as passed. I'll just comment out this if else if ladder, and we have, I'll just take this down. We have a marks of 45, attendance percentile as 75, and it should get passed. Yes, that particular candidate is passed. Let us reduce the marks to 28, and if I run it, nothing will be printed as we don't have the second path to choose for a program. And I'll just increase the marks to 55 and attendance percentile to 65. Even though the student is passed in the subject, he will not be considered as a passed because of attendance percentile. Let me run it. Again, nothing will be printed as this condition is not true. That is all about if-else if statements. And the second type of statement we have is switch cases. Let us see what are switch cases. A switch statement allows program to choose one block of code to execute based on the value of a variable. And it is very useful when you have many conditions instead of writing multiple if-else blocks. Let us see the syntax of switch cases. We will be having a variable to decide the cases. I'll be considering a day, year, and we'll write the switch and the condition, that is expression. And if case 1, then we'll execute some code and break out of the flow. If case 2, we'll execute different code and break out of the flow. If none of the cases are met, we have a default case where we execute some default conditions or statements. Here in this syntax, day is considered as an expression where it can be int, byte, short, char, enums, and strings. Since Java 7, strings are also allowed in the switch case expressions. And here, this break stops the case from falling into the next cases. If we don't add break statements for each cases, then all the cases will get executed. And this default case runs when no cases are matched. Let us see that with an example. I'll consider the same example of a day in a week. I'll just declare day in a week as fourth day, which based on day in a week, where if case 1, then print day as Monday and break out of the flow, and if case 2, print it as Tuesday and break out of the flow, and if case 3, print day as Wednesday, break out of the flow, and if case 4, print it as Thursday, again break out of the loop. I'll just stop it here and I'll declare a default case. If none of them are matched, then I'll just print out not in week. Let me try to execute this program. I'll just comment out the above code. My bad. Yes, again, syntax. I'll just run the program now. It should print Thursday and break out of the flow. Now let me show you what happens if I don't add break. I'll just comment out all the breaks. I'll run the program. It will print Thursday and not in week. It is printing default case as well, since there is no break in the code flow. I'll just make this as 1 and I'll run without breaks. So it is printing all the days with the default case as well. And this behavior without break statement is considered as fall through behavior, where it executes all the possible cases with default case. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.